Hey there, traders and investors. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ Sector review and a daily market recap. Today's a recap for Tuesday, May 11th. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing as the topic of the day, HEXO Corp announcing at the market offering up to 150 million Canadian. And what exactly does this mean for the stock? Should we be worried? And we'll also, like I said, cover the broader market. I'm going to put some timestamps in the description below, but I do have an appointment to run to. So going to do the MJ and the broader market all in one. So before we jump into some news and events on the day, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So we'll start off with the HEXO news here. So this is not really, this is basically just an extension of that 1.3 billion base shelf that we saw. And they basically stated time and time again that this is going to be used as strategic initiatives. And the only way that they would use it is if they needed it for some sort of M&A, mergers and acquisitions, or if it was some sort of partner with a potential CPG partner. But I'll just read a quote here. So the company expects to use the net proceeds from the at-the-market program for general corporate purposes, which may include costs associated with the company's U.S. expansion plans, including the contemplated acquisition of facility in the state of Colorado and its subsequent retrofitting and improvement, i.e. capital expenditures, including potential capital expenditures to make additional improvements to the production lines in the company's Belleville, Ontario facility as well, and potential future acquisitions, working capital, including replenishing existing cash resources and working capital, which could be used to fund certain transaction and integration costs at a minimum and debt repayments related to the company's proposed acquisition with Zenabis, which the shareholder vote, you have until the end of today to vote. So I encourage you to do that. And they have the meeting on Thursday. So we should find out maybe Thursday, Friday, or the beginning of next week, the result of that. And we're expecting that to close in Q3. So sometime Q3, Q4, so around June, July, but at probably some point this summer, we should see that. And the repayment of additional debts owned by Zenabis following the completion of that acquisition. So a little bit of a mouthful, but just wanted to let you know that nothing has changed. This is in line with what they said in the Ask Me Anything as well, that they would use this as a way to expand into the US. And they also participated in the Canaccord Genuity's 5th annual Global MJ Conference. And there was also a news piece here today, nice article from New MJ Ventures. So you can check out this. HEXO Corp quietly moves into the top Canadian MJ market while ramping up US expansion. And at the bottom of this as well, there's a SoundCloud. I would highly encourage you to listen to that. And like I said, I participated, just did a video on this as well. I did a video recording of it. So you can check out my video from HEXO Canaccord Genuity's 5th annual Global MJ Conference video that I just posted. For a recap of that, it's about 29 minutes, 30 minutes. And it was fantastic. Some words that stood out to me were Germany. So through the Zenabis acquisition, they'll have that facility in Malta. And Germany stood out, and also, one of the management team used to work for, I forget his name at the moment, but he used to work for Mars. And they keep saying, when they mention CPG partners, they keep saying edibles, and they also keep saying cosmetics. So just keeping an eye on some speculation, right? Seeing what we could potentially see. But at this point, it's starting to look more and more like we could see a potential CPG partner in the cosmetic industry or in the edibles. Who also do we know that has expansion plans in Germany? Well, I did a video, you can check out my channel on that as well, but PepsiCo has Rockstar Hemp that just launched in Germany. HEXO is expanding into the EU through Zenabis and that facility in Malta, which would allow them to export to Germany. And he mentioned, right, he said in the video, you can check it out, but Sebastian St. Louis, or I think it was Trent McDonald in the presentation, said that it could allow them to, get products into the German market. So just speculating. And Mars as a potential, he said it was products that you have in your fridge every day. So maybe let me know in the comments below what you think. Maybe is it Kraft? There's Kraft Heinz, right? There's so many different avenues that they could go and so many different companies. But some words that stood out to me were Mars and Germany, some keywords from that conference, and words mean things. And again, just seeing lots of, we'll find out soon. They keep saying soon about U.S. expansion plans. So we could find out in short order some more potential plans that they have for U.S. expansion and who that CPG partner may be. He said ongoing discussions, advanced discussions with multiple Fortune 500 CPG companies. So moving on, we'll just take a look at some news and events, and we'll look at the HEXO chart here in just a moment during the MJ sector. But I did want to cover that again. I'll put some timestamps in the description below. But we had a pretty nasty sell-off today in the tech sector, and the NASDAQ erases 2% loss as tech stocks rebound from the morning washout. So we saw weakness in some of our other sectors and a rebound in the tech sector, which is why SPY was able to save its daily support. We did lose it briefly. Again, I'll bring it up here in the chart in just a moment, but it was a little scary there for a while, but we're still A-okay at the moment. Kathy Wood says recent sell-off is not the end of the tech trade and that exponential growth is ahead. And we'll bring up the case for a potential weekly bull flag on the S&P 500 here momentarily. And if that were to occur, in my opinion, we need the tech sector to see significant strength. So maybe Kathy is onto something. We'll take a look at the chart in a moment. The federal government of Canada unlocks $740 million in airport relief. So moving on, Charlotte's Web Q1 revenue increases 9% to $23.4 million, but they had some disappointing EPS numbers and a negative reaction to those earnings. I actually added a CWeb position today. I was looking to enter this for a while now, and the all-time low, I believe, is $3. And I added to that position. We had support at 418, so I added around 4 in the 430s. And I'll look to add potentially more to that position. But moving on to the crypto space, so we are bouncing back and recovering nicely here. XLM shot up to almost 80 cents. That's a name that we're extremely bullish on in the group, and recovering those losses quite nicely. We dropped down to the 60-cent mark after hitting nearly 80 cents. So bouncing back here, we hit nearly 75 cents. So that is a name that we're extremely bullish on. XRP is a name that I'm still extremely bullish on as well. And we could see some developments with the SEC lawsuit versus Ripple later on this week. So keeping an eye on that. Also found out that there's a petition of about 20,000 signatures going to be sent to the SEC and Gary Gensler, which is the new chairman, basically saying to drop the war on XRP. And they're actually asking that they initiate an investigation between Jay Clayton, who was the previous chairman, about whether or not he had any sort of fraud or any motives behind what they did, because they gave Ethereum and Bitcoin a free pass. And then we found out later on that the day after he resigned, the day before he resigned, he unleashes this case against Ripple. And then he leaves to go work for a cryptocurrency firm that is primarily focused on Ethereum and Bitcoin. So conflict of interest, where there's some, illegal activities going on there, who knows? But hopefully this is going to get the ball rolling on that front, because so far not passing the smell test, in my opinion. So like I said, Bitcoin daily inside bar just going sideways. And again, the more that Bitcoin goes sideways, the more it's going to give alts room to run. We also have a couple daily inside bars on watch on Doge. I know a lot of people in our group sold on the recommendation that we could see a sell the news into that Saturday Night Live skit. And sure enough, that is what we got. So taking a look at SPY before we jump into some individual tickers in the MJ space. So we had key support, in my opinion, at 410.59, and we lost it today. We hit 410.06. So new key support is going to be 410.06. And we didn't see much follow through on the loss of that daily uptrend, which means we zoom out, we expect weekly consolidation, which is underway. But at this point, it's still just a weekly bull flag. And if we were to confirm this weekly bull flag, that would probably take us to around 450, 460 on the S&P 500, which means we could see a lot more upside from these levels, which would be in line with what Kathy Wood is saying as well about the face ripper rally that we're about to have in store for the tech sector. So we'll see if there's any truth to that. But like I said, weekly consolidation is underway. We'll see whether or not this is the end. Burden of proof right now is going to be on the bears. Bulls are ready. We are at support, and it's all up to tomorrow, seeing whether or not we see further weakness or if we see bulls continue to buy the dip and head towards all-time high territory and confirm this weekly bull flag. But weekly uptrend still intact. We have yet to test EMA 12 there on the weekly, which has been holding as well since back here in October. So that will be a key level, and that is sitting at 405.79. And keep in mind, we do have a lack of support after 410.59. We also have that gap in the chart at 400.67, which was previous resistance. So if we did come back down and test 400, confirm support, fill that gap, that would be healthy in my opinion. But keep in mind, no support after that until 383. So if you're not comfortable with seeing another 5% 6% drop, you need to get, you need to develop your game plan and get mentally and financially and, get your portfolio prepared for that, because that absolutely can happen as we have a lack of support. Volatility is picking up. So all about that level 410.06 going into tomorrow. The dollar, not really seeing much activity though. And small range on the day, but we're coming up on weekly support at 89.68. That is the most important. If we do lose that support, we're likely going to see a lot of strength in the stock market and in other assets like crypto, etc. So IWM bounced back, nice day today. So again, the sectors that have been weak in unison have been the tech sector, SMH, the semiconductors. So those had nice green days to end the day today. And as a result, SPY was up from quite a bit from the low of the day. But again, we need to see whether or not bears are going to follow through tomorrow. Oil, so broke the low of yesterday. So daily consolidation is still underway. And we have yet to test EMA 26. So we may still need to consolidate a bit further on oil. And the metals, silver and gold, looks like we have daily bull flags on watch, and we're still in a daily uptrend. Metals are extremely strong. XBI, biotech sector, again, nice recovery, closing at the high, near the high of the day. XLE, energy sector, so this is where we saw weakness. Look at that volume 2 on XLE, so down 2.5%, over 2.5%. And we'll see tomorrow whether or not we see rotation out of the tech sector back into these rotation sectors that we've been seeing with the healthcare sector, financial sector, and the energy sector. Those were all coincidentally all consolidating today and have yet to test their EMA 12 on most. XLV did today. So we'll see if this is all the pullback we get. If all sectors are bouncing tomorrow together, then we can expect a strong day in SPY. But again, if we're seeing further daily consolidation on these sectors, and then we see it again on our tech sector names, then we're going to anticipate that the bears are for real and a significant momentum shift. All about that 410 level on SPY. If we lose that, we're likely going down to that 400 gap fill, and that should provide nice support in my opinion. I don't think we're just going to go straight waterfall to 383, but stranger things have happened. So taking a look at some individual tickers on the bear list, we had LEV, CWEB, and DFLY. On the bull list, we had DDD, JMIA, and FVRR, so fiber. And DDD, absolutely monstrous rally from yesterday's low. We are up about 40%. I did a video on this yesterday, but they crushed their earnings. Surprise there on the EPS of 15.15, so 919.98% surprise. And they also beat on revenue by about 10 million. Check out my video from yesterday for an in-depth analysis on that. But congrats to the bulls. This is a name that I'm extremely bullish on. I think I've got an average of around $18 or $19 after fighting the FOMO. And got to keep in mind that we were just at $56 not too long ago, and the stock ultimately used to be worth $97 at one point. And this is a name that I think is going to have extreme success in the future. Again, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but do your own research. But again, extremely bullish on 3D systems and just 3D printing as a whole into the future. So moving on to the HEXO chart. So HEXO consolidating here on the daily, and bulls sort of got trampled today by the bears, and we finally broke. We had an uptrend forming here, and we finally broke that uptrend line. We could draw it out. Not sure why it isn't there anymore, but essentially we were closing. We had one day there where we closed below, or where we dipped below, but we closed back above. And same here, but today was the day where that all changed, and we closed near the low of the day. And it's all about key support here at 617. So if we lose 617, we lose the daily uptrend, and then it's back looking for a daily higher low and attempt a daily trend change. But if that happens, it's not the end of the world. We do have support down at 502, but that is quite a ways away. I don't anticipate that to happen. I would expect support to hold. Maybe we see a flush of that support. But again, we'll have to keep an eye on the broader market. If SPY and the S&P 500 is weak, that is going to be headwinds and not what the bulls want to see in the MJ space. But again, HEXO has been standing out. We held the 50-day moving average today. And the 10-week moving average, sitting at 666. So refresh 659 actually. So maybe that's a better sign. So sitting at 659, and we closed the day at 659, right on it. Stochastic has crossed bullish. We'll see if we can close the week strong, but if we can close the week over 659, that's going to be bullish. And if we can get a bull cross of that MACD again, that would be great to see. Give us the utmost confidence. And on the weekly time frame, look where we topped out again, right at that 100 moving average at 706. We try to get above it, but again, we still are rejecting. So if we can close over 706, even give a little bit of wiggle room, so close around 710, 715 by the end of the week, that would be the first time we close above that 100 weekly moving average, which would be significant, as that has been resistance since we had this massive run from the 52-week lows. And again, held the 50-day moving average today. That's sitting at 655. So that was a point in favor of the bulls. Let's see if we can hold that tomorrow. If not, the 100-day moving average sitting at 644 USD and the 200 down at 474. And the pullback there from April 21st was 502. So I expect $5 to act as strong support going forward. Again, if we see fear pick up in the broader market and across the space and across the sector, then it would obviously, create some extreme levels of fear and maybe some prices that we didn't think were possible. But even if we do dip below $5, personally, I don't think I'm going to be looking to buy that dip, as I have a ton of cash and I'm short the S&P 500 as a hedge. The only reason I would be bearish HEXO and using a SPY short and hedge against the S&P 500 is if SPY were to see massive consolidation. And again, that's why I'm short the S&P 500, holding some cash in reserve to buy the dip in case we do dip. But if we do get below $5 USD, I don't expect it to stay there for very long. Extremely bullish on HEXO, and nice to see that we held that 50-day moving average today. And again, all about 617. We have resistance at 753, and then a lack of resistance from there up until $8.50, which was the earnings reaction from back in March. After that, lack of resistance as well up until the 52-week high at 1104. Things are starting to look up. Let me know in the comments below if you purchased any HEXO today. So taking a look at the rest of the sector. So HEXO, VLNS, and RIV led the decline today. Huge OGI and CanTrust led the bull lists. Honorable mention to Tilray. And nice dip there. I mentioned on the live stream for members that I was extremely bullish on Tilray and VFF this morning for an oversold bounce. And look at that massive move from the low today. Looking at about 14% bounce. VFF there as well in about 15 minutes from the low of the day. We were up 13%. So that's a classic example of why I was interested. Mentioned that before the bell opened this morning to private members on the live stream. So congratulations to anybody who did buy that dip on that signal. And just taking a look at some of our other names here. So Zenabis, also wanted to mention, because of the HEXO focused video, that we did see daily consolidation today, but the discount between buying HEXO and Zenabis, if you were to buy Zenabis, the discount is about it was down to about 1 or 2%. So basically, same thing happened with Afria and Tilray. The closer we got to the merger, the actual date and the delisting of APHA's ticker, and that conversion rate happening, the discount shrunk and got smaller and smaller and smaller. So now we're seeing Zenabis and HEXO a couple days. Again, Zenabis meeting is on Thursday, so this is a couple days leading up into that. Not surprising to see that discount less than 2%. So I sold a lot of my Zenabis shares to buy HEXO, as I do think that I'm still holding a little bit of Zenabis shares through the merger just to see, just in case. And also just want to give an update on everybody once it does happen, so that I'll have a kind of a heads up there to let everybody else know. But essentially just de-risking a little bit. The deal isn't 100% guaranteed yet. And it's essentially, if you buy Zenabis versus HEXO, there's no real benefit of just buying HEXO. So to de-risk a little bit. Also, HEXO could have some news, right, that could potentially come out in terms of UX expansion or another CPG partner. So I feel more comfortable as a shareholder of HEXO than I would of Zenabis, even though it's pretty much a shoe-in, in my opinion, that we can pretty much expect that as a done deal. So moving on to the US side, taking a look at the bull and bear list, we had TAUG, BEV, and CWEB leading the decline today. And on the bull list, we had NBEV, CARA, and MMEN. So congrats to the bulls. I added to my Chiron position today as well. And we've been from a recent high at 76, just from that low, you're looking at about a 70% move. And with the landscape changing in Mexico as well, it's the name that our group is bullish on as well. We have been for a long time. So taking a look at MSOS, nice day, closing near the high of the day. Nice recovery on the day today. And we did lose our support here at 41.29, which had been holding for a few different attempts. So now we're back into daily consolidation mode, looking for a daily higher low. And the more that we pull back here, the more we're going to favor a type of equilibrium type of setup. And we could see a tightening range here, but likely just going to follow the market. Again, we'll see if there's any potential news that does come out with regards to safe banking or U.S. legislation changes in regards to legalization or decriminalization. It's been a while since we've heard anything in terms of that. So we'll see if there's any new development on that front. So going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth for a daily market recap and an MJ sector review. Don't forget to go check out the Canaccord Genuity's recap of HEXO's portion of that conference. It was absolutely fantastic. Let me know in the comments below if you bought any HEXO today. What were the key takeaways from that conference? I'd love to hear from you. So we'll see you tomorrow after market close. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.